Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's newsroom. Tripura's woes against illegal Bangladeshi immigrants entering the state does not seem to be getting lesser, but rather it is seeing a rise in such cases. In this regard, as many as 3 Bangladeshi nationals had been detained at the Agartala railway station on Tuesday night. Police said they were on their way to a metro city. Speaking on the issue, officer in charge of Government Railway Police Station, Tapas Das, said, "On November 5th, we detained 3 Bangladeshi nationals. They had entered the Indian territory violating the law as they had failed to furnish any documents which could approve of their act of crossing the borders legally. Prima facie evidence suggests that they were on their way to another state and Tripura was the corridor for their entry to India." The detained individuals had been identified as Mohammad Jalal Auladar, Ruma Begum and their 4-year-old child Raima Begum. The police on Tuesday said around 1,452 Bangladeshi migrants authorities have been detained. Authorities detained 5 Bangladeshi nationals, including 3 women and 3 Indians, in Sabroom, South Tripura, while crossing the border illegally at Jalkhamba. Police said that they had been trying to track the link man who had extended the logistic support to these infiltrators. To speak more on this issue, we have with us our correspondent from Tripura, Mrinal Banik, who will be joining us and we will be having a deeper look at this crisis and how and what measures the Tripura government is looking forward to tackle this growing issue. Good morning, Banik. Thank you so much, Mrinal, for joining me. Could you give us the latest updates on this growing issue of illegal Bangladeshi migrants entering the state of Tripura, and not only the illegal Bangladeshi migrants but also Rohingyas? We have been getting reports of a certain amount of people being caught illegally entering the state of Tripura. How big is this issue, and should the people of Tripura worry about this rising crisis?
Well, I would say most of the people who are very concerned about this surge in infiltration of Bangladeshi nationals.
Yes.
According to a data that I have received from the border security forces last night,
yes,
a total of 556 Bangladeshi nationals had been detained as of October 28 from January 2024.
Okay.
And 189 of them, the detainees are Hindus and 376 are Muslims.
Okay.
There are also 50 displaced Rohingya migrants who had been detained in this period of time.
All right.
And in last year also the numbers are very big.
Okay.
So this is actually almost every day we are getting reports of Bangladeshi nationals being detained in Agartala railway station, in the railway stations of Dharmanagar,
Yes.
in other places, other entry points from where they are boarding trains to go other states.
Yes.
So it is very concerning, and it actually exposed the way the mishandling of the borders, the lack of capability of the border guarding forces in guarding the borders, because almost if there are barbed wire fencing constructed in most of the patches, despite that the Bangladeshi nationals are entering India.
Yes.
And it was kind of unchecked, because if 500 people have been detained,
Yes.
You can assume that it can be a big number who have crossed over and went to other states.
Yes.
So, according to the intelligence sources whom I have spoken to last night and the day before, they are saying that the Bangladeshi nationals are entering India through Tripura, because in some areas of the borders, which are more prone to such kind of illegal activities and human trafficking,
Yes.
these areas are densely populated, and the involvement of local population in extending logistic support to these Bangladeshi nationals is the real problem. And there is another term which has been coined by the intelligence sources and law enforcement machineries, which is called border touts. These are the people who act as linkmen. They collect money from the Bangladeshi nationals and they help them cross the borders. So border touts is the biggest concern, and the government of Tripura has already said that this should be treated as a national security threat, because you never know who is coming.
Yes.
and who and what they will do in the future after they get mixed in the population of this country.
All right, Mrinal, you were just talking about the rising concern over this illegal immigrant issue. Well, looking at it from a national aspect, this whole topic of illegal immigration is gaining a very strong stronghold, in which the government of India had implemented the CA, Citizenship Amendment Act, and then the NRC. Well, we've got reports that many of these illegal Bangladeshi migrants enter Tripura, and Tripura is like a corridor for them to enter other states of India. Well, if you look at the case of Jharkhand, that is going to polls in 2 phases on 13th and the 20th. The theme for BJP's campaign is Roti, Mati or Beti, in which they have alleged that a lot of these Bangladeshi immigrants have settled down in Jharkhand, and their gateway, or rather one of the gateways of these illegal migrants, is the state of Tripura. So in this regard, you had just mentioned about the border touts. So have the police been able to ascertain any kind of modus operandi of these border touts as to how they operate and how they are given such free hand? Imagine, you had just mentioned that around 500 plus people were already detained by the border security forces. So do you believe the police have been able to garner information as to the modus operandi of how they allow illegal migrants to enter Tripura?
Actually, this issue is very complex. If you see, in Tripura, there are around 50 villages, okay, with a very considerable population which are ahead of the fencing. Ahead of the fencing means the barbed wire fencing has been, drawn up, but these people, these Indian citizens, are living outside the fencing. I mean, in the Bangladesh side. Okay. So the BSF and the administration have made a makeshift arrangement for them, like they have been given valid ID cards. So these ID cards, they can cross over through some border gates which have been, built in these areas where the villages are located. So if we see in these areas only, you will see the surge of infiltration. So it means the people who are the Indian citizens who have been living ahead of the fencing, and people who are and the bordering areas, these people are helping the Bangladeshi nationals. Yes, this is a fact that we have a cultural, we have an identical culture. The people of both the sides speak Bengali fluently, and culturally we are rooted. But it doesn't mean, it should not be an yardstick to allow Bangladeshi nationals to enter Tripura. This has been a fact. This is a political issue also. The Tripura Motha party, which has been founded by the royal scion of Tripura, Pradyut Kishore Debbarman, he had been actively campaigning about against this Bangladeshi infiltration. And yes, this is a fact that when Bangladeshi nationals come here and they settle down, they go for their livelihood opportunity. They look for their livelihood opportunities. It has become a burden on the Indian population. So the resources of that should be spent on the people of this country. The poor people of this country is being shared with the Bangladeshi nationals who have no contribution in this nation. So these are the issues which has to be addressed, and the Chief Minister of Tripura has already said that these issues will be tackled with zero tolerance. And the police are also acting. Even in 2023, a total of 25 individuals who had been identified as border touts were arrested from Tripura. The National Investigation Agency and other security agencies conducted these raids. This year also, BSF and police have arrested 9 border touts from these areas in West Tripura, Sipaijala, Unopudi, and parts of North Tripura district, which are from where the Bangladeshi nationals actually enter in Tripura. A stretch in Khwai district also is considered to be sensitive. So in these areas, the extra precautions are being taken. The police, apart from the border security forces, Tripura State Rifles and police are also trying to build a second line of defense, and this is how things are taking place, and an organized security build-up is being created.
Yes.
But as long as the people of this country, the people of the Indian side, the border
Yes.
people, will allow the Bangladeshi nationals to come, it would be very hard for the security agencies to intercept them or arrest them, because we look similar.
Yes.
The people of this side, both the sides look similar. They speak in the same language.
Yes.
So identifying them and arresting them is a bit difficult task. But for that, the BSF and other security agencies are conducting awareness camps in the bordering areas.
Yes.
And the most important, and another thing is that, there are cross-border smuggling also happening.
Yes.
Of narcotic substances and all. So through these, there is a very, an illegal nexus operating in these areas. So the people who had been indulged in illegal operations like narcotic smugglings and all,
Yes.
they have now switched to this Bangladeshi infiltration and human trafficking. This is a very big crisis in Tripura, and yes, not only Jharkhand. I have seen the campaign.
Yes.
Not only in Jharkhand. In the last couple of days, in the last couple of months, the Bangladeshi nationals who had been arrested, they have confessed before the police that they did not come here to settle in Tripura. They are on the move to other states like Mumbai, Gujarat, Hyderabad, Chennai, even in Kolkata, some parts of West Bengal. So it looks very clear that Tripura is the corridor, and they are coming here to take, this is also a disadvantage, I would say, of the connectivity issues. After the BJP government came to power in Tripura, Tripura has become well connected. You have
Yes.
trains, you have number of flights increased in the airport. So it becomes so the flight service is not accessible for the infiltrators because you need a lot of security checks.
Yes.
But in the railway network and the bus services are very favorable medium of their movement, because here the security checks are very less.
Yes.
So in this case, I think the government and the security forces should enhance their surveillance in the railway and the bus services which are connected from Tripura to other states.
All right, so Mrinal, in another aspect of it, could you please, for the viewers, could you please explain as to what happens to these detainees? Is there a detention camp that has been constructed by the Tripura government? And what is the process of them going back to their country of Bangladesh? Is there a judicial process behind it, or how does this work?
There is a judicial process. After detention, after arrest, they are produced before the court. The court then the trial happened, and after that they were sent to jail. And when they are released from the jail, they were pushed back to Bangladesh after consultation with the Bangladesh counterpart, the BJP, the Bangladesh border guards.
Okay.
So after verification of the identities, they were pushed back.
All right, Mrinal, you had just also raised a very important issue, which is also a huge illegal nexus of smuggling of narcotics. Do you believe, since you've been sending us reports each day about narcotic substances like yaba tablets and heroin being apprehended by the police, do you feel that this influx of illegal Bangladeshi migrants is also adding to the woes of such crimes in society too? And do you feel that these are all affecting the state's political landscape, the state's societal landscape, and also the state's individual, on that individual basis of it, do you think this problem of illegal immigration is affecting the society as a whole?
Well, Bangladesh is a very big market for narcotic smugglers, okay. So Tripura traditionally, for the last 10-12 years, was a corridor for smuggling of drugs.
Yes.
What happens when drugs, move through a place? It creates an effect. And it is now the impact of drug corridor is now being felt because a lot of people, a lot of Tripura youth have become addicted to drug abuse, and we have done stories of people getting killed because of these kind of, and a lot of families have these the social crisis has emerged because of this drug abuse. But most of the biggest problem is that when these kind of things are happening, narcotic smuggling is happening. What is the reason? The reason behind is that the people who is living in the border, they have no alternative work opportunity or livelihood opportunity. When the individual has a opportunity to earn a living legally, he would never go to such kind of activities. And these things are being exploited by the kingpins, and the people are being forced into such kind of activities. And also, a lot of Bangladeshi and Rohingya women who are crossing the borders, they are getting married in different parts of the country, or being forced to flash state. So this is a very big social crisis which needs to be addressed immediately, and the central government should act very strict against these things.
All right. So, Mrinal, in the other aspect of it, the BJP government of Tripura recently spoke to the Ministry of Home Affairs, in which they had stated that there should be a complete border fencing, and Tripura shares about 856 kilometers of boundary with the country of Bangladesh. So do you think that this border fencing of the whole border area of 856 kilometers, do you think this could be one step as to how to check illegal immigration? And if it is to be implemented, is there any timeline that the agencies have provided, stating that it would take around this much time to build an 856-kilometer wall between Tripura and Bangladesh? And would this help the administration too in checking illegal immigration?
Actually, recently, the Lok Sabha MP of West Tripura, Biplab Kumar Dev, he has written a letter to the Ministry of Home Affairs seeking to renovate the border fencing. We have a border fencing in most of the areas, but the border fencing is it was constructed many years ago, and most of the places it had been damaged, and the smugglers also caused damage to the border fencing because to move their goods, illegal goods. So the border fencing is actually, it needs to be overhauled, and it needs to be renovated, restructured. But most important thing is that you have to make sure that the people who are behind these, the kingpins, who are operating all this, they should be arrested and strict legal action be taken against them. Because the people who are, the border touts or whoever the police is arresting, these people are taking 10,000-20,000 rupees for for helping the Bangladeshi national to cross the borders. But there is an organized network. The kingpins are sitting elsewhere, and they are making all the coordination. They are maintaining all the coordination with the people in Bangladesh who are also involved in such kind of activities. So it needs to be dealt very carefully, and the kingpins should be arrested first.
All right, Mrinal, in another aspect, after the Bangladesh turmoil, or rather the Bangladesh issue came out, after which Sheikh Hasina had to flee the country, and replacing government was placed, a lot of the northeastern states that share the boundaries with Bangladesh were on high alert, especially with the influx of illegal immigrants. Do you believe that this issue, the Bangladesh turmoil issue, is also a major factor as to why there is so much illegal influx of Bangladeshis into the states of Tripura or Meghalaya or Assam? And do you feel that this is a serious concern that could change the demography of the state?
Well, if you see, after the month of August,
yes,
okay. So from August to October 28, I have the data in which it has showed that 281 Bangladeshi nationals were apprehended. Okay, and 116 of them are Hindu community, and the rest are from the Muslim community. So it has been observed that the number of people crossing the border has increased. So after the fall of Sheikh Hasina government. So this is the Bangladesh government. The Bangladesh is in a complete mess, as we see in the media reports. There are political crises, and the economy is also on the tailspin. So in view of all this, we are observing a rise in the number of people coming from Bangladesh, coming out of Bangladesh. So it is also a fact that the surveillance had been increased. The border areas in the border areas, the deployment of BSF troopers has been increased. But all apart, you need to ensure that the people of the Indian citizens who are living in the border, they have to take care of. They have to take the responsibility. Okay. If they indulge in such kind of activities and welcome the Bangladeshi nationals, no security agency, no government can stop this infiltration problem.
All right. Also, Mrinal, just a few months back, Tripura had faced a very serious issue of flooding, in which a lot of government administration officials, security agencies were all involved in rescue work and in trying to make Tripura come back to normal after the floods. Do you feel that such issues like the floods also somehow diverted the attention of the administration towards saving the people inside Tripura, and which gave a slight loophole to this whole illegal influx of Bangladeshi migrants? And do you feel this issue could have also heightened or rather increased the amount of people entering the state illegally?
Actually, when Tripura was facing the floods, Bangladesh was also facing a similar crisis.
Okay.
So at that point of time, there was no such reports of Bangladeshis crossing over. But yes, after the month of August, I think August was the month when August 18 to 22 was the time when the flooding was severe.
Yes. And
at that point of time, the whole administration was busy in rescuing people.
Yes.
But the bordering areas of Bangladesh, the Bangladesh side were also flooded heavily. So I don't think that was a factor because of which the Bangladeshi infiltration has increased. But it is a fact that the organized network which is working behind it should be busted, and strict civil action should be taken against.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrinal, for joining me on this newsroom speaking about the illegal immigration problem. Thank you so much, Mrinal. So that was our correspondent from Tripura, Mrinal Banik, and he just shared with us the issue of this illegal Bangladeshi migrants being detained by the Tripura police and also the border security forces. And our correspondent had mentioned that there is a growing nexus between the Indian side that allows these Bangladeshi migrants to enter. And he stated that there are some critical areas in the border areas which need better monitoring and there should be stricter surveillance. Well, Mrinal also pointed out that majority of this issue is being supported by the Indians, by the people living in the Indian side, in which they are transporting or rather smuggling or human trafficking people from Bangladesh into India, which is automatically changing the demography of Tripura, and it is also changing the demography of many states in our country. Well, Hornbill TV will bring you more issues like this, so keep watching Hornbill TV.